just wanted a tough street car, something with a bit of power but not over the top, that I could enjoy. When I put my foot down, I wanted it to be able to move and keep up with my mates around me. My name's Julian. I'm from Silverdale, New South Wales, and this is my 1988 Holden Commodore. The first car was a 1999 model Honda Integra VTIR. Had a blown gearbox and looked like it'd been through a sandblaster. Kind of the sex spec era, so we put body kits, fiberglass on everything and chrome wheels and subs and amps everywhere. There was more wiring in a car than probably what was inside a house. All of my mates had predominantly VK Commodores, a couple of them had VLs, and they were all starting to build them, and I longed for one, so I found this 88 model VL Commodore. It's just an executive SL, Opera House edition actually. There was only 150 of them made, and it was quite clean. The paint was immaculate. It only had 70,000 Ks on the car. The interior was immaculate, not a mark, not a scratch on it. We brought it into the workshop and put it up on the hoist and really went over it, and we realised that it was going to be a decent job, and we stripped the whole car and we got it hydroblasted. Found out that there was some rust in the usual spots. So the fabrication work started, and it kind of went from there. We ended up mini tubbing it, and we've shaved a lot of stuff off the body. We've welded up all the seams, and we realised that the car had been in a rear ender and the boot was a bit out of alignment. It took quite a bit of work to get it where it needed to be, and gaps on the doors weren't quite right. We've gone over the whole car. It's an older model car with a modern edge on it. It is a Holden, and I love the brand, so everything in the car is how it came out of the factory, just built a lot tougher. Still got the original engine in it, the 304, stroke to a 355. I wanted to try and keep the engine as original as possible and just accentuate whatever power I could out of that engine. It's still got the early heads on it. They've been heavily ported and worked. Got a 750 Holly carby, aeromotive fuel system, through to a 3-speed manualised gearbox, standard Trimatic gearbox, just built pretty much as tough as a Trimatic can go. It works well with the engine that we've got. Got the Borg-Warner diff in it, 31 spline axles with 3.9 diff ratios, Harrop True Track centre. It's held up by coilover suspension, VN Group A brakes, swatted rotors, all stainless lines. So we've got Simmons on there, 20 by 8s on the front and 20 by 10.5s with a 3-inch backspace on the rear. Having painted the centres the colour of the car and the rim black, I think it really pops and it stands out. I'm really happy with the sleek look that they bring to the car. The interior is done in VL Bellina Madeira red trim. We kind of didn't know what direction to go with the interior, and it was blue colour originally. Once the car was painted, we held the blue up to the colour of the car, and it just wasn't what we were after. It's got the B&M ratchet shifter in there with the drop box, so it sits below the standard console. The steering wheel is Momo Monte Carlo steering wheel. I wanted the red stitching on it to complement the interior, and during COVID, I couldn't get one out of Italy. It actually took 4 months to get that steering wheel. Yeah, I think the finished product is immaculate. It's really what we wanted. All the colours work really well together. So it's got the 3 gauges on the bonnet. Pretty old school, the look. It's not for everyone, but I've always liked it. Back from auto salon days, there was a few tough VLs back there and they always had gauges on the bonnet. And yeah, it's an old school car, from the engine through to the gearbox, through everything else, and I thought, the gauges are old school as well, so they had to be there. There was never a question about that. The way we had the exhaust previously, it was just dumped at the diff with a couple of mufflers under the car, and it was pretty loud and aggressive, and we've rebuilt it all, and it's got a 3-inch dual exhaust all the way through with twin 4-inch dump pipes at the back with resonators. It's actually quieting the car down a little bit, but I wanted it that way because I want to be able to put the kids in there. Painted in PPG, it's a custom charcoal grey. It's got a very coarse metallic through it. Under some lights it looks very dark, almost black, and then out in the sun it really glistens and the metallic comes into its own. Ultimately I just want to enjoy the car, show it off where I can. I think it deserves it. I'd like to take it to summer nats, let loose a little bit with it. Ultimately I built the car to enjoy it, drive it, take the kids in it. It's a nice Sunday cruiser. It looks good, it goes good, it drives good. For me, it's a complete package, and I want to enjoy every last bit of it. having a piece of Australian motoring history in my own garage. I intend to take it out and let the world see it as well.